Of course, one of the things which people perhaps remember most now about Edward is the fact that he was sympathetic towards the Nazis in the 1930s and visited Germany before the war and appeared to be endorsing the Nazi regime. And there's no way really that one can deny that he was very sympathetic towards Germany in the 1930s. But I think it's important to understand that at that time, that was not uncommon. There were many appeasers in Britain in the 1930s, and it was partly driven by the thought that Britain must never go to war with Germany again. The horrors of the First World War, which Edward had seen at first hand on the Western Front, had been so terrible that anything was better than going through that again. So that does not excuse Edward, but it goes some way to explaining why he was relatively pro-German. And of course in 1940, when the Germans were overrunning Europe, Edward was regarded as very defeatist. He thought the best thing to do was for Britain to come to terms to make a treaty with Hitler. And of course, as we know, Churchill was dead against that and managed to persuade the country to carry on resisting. But as we've seen in the recent movie, Darkest Hour, it was touch and go in May and June 1940 as to whether Britain would fight on or whether there were many politicians who were thinking that actually Edward was right and it would be the best thing to make a deal with Hitler.